Chris Sutton has gave his opinion ahead of the new year Old Firm. So let's dive into it. Does Philip Clont need to win? Or will it be okay if we just tried? Let's hear what Chris Sutton had to say about it on the big It's All Kicking Off podcast. Obviously, the Rangers on the end of another pretty disappointing defeat. There is no two ways about it. But yeah, we tried, guys. So this was what Chris Sutton said, and I quote, Big Phil talked last week about budgets and the fact that Rangers were playing two teams with greater budgets, Tottenham and then Celtic. But he failed to mention that every other week in the Scottish Premiership, Rangers' budget is considerably bigger than everybody else. Right. End of quote. I touched on this earlier, I can't even remember what fit it was, but it's like, we are 11 points behind Celtic. Alright, folks, we are 11 points behind Celtic in the league. But those 11 points haven't came for Celtic, right? 3 of them have at Parkhead. But realistically, based off the whole budget talk and things like that, we should only be 3 points behind Celtic, We should be theoretically looking to win this game in the 2nd of January on a Thursday, Europa nights, all that good stuff. We should be theoretically looking to win this game of football and be thinking, close it to 0. When in reality, we're sitting there thinking about closing it to 8. And honestly, going from 11 to 8 doesn't really cut the mustard the same way going from 3 to 0 would. I mean, I was fair earlier. I said, you know what? Aberdeen at Pittodrie's always been tough for us, but we still should be winning that game. But Aberdeen were in a fantastic reign of form. So, it's not even like the gap's 6 points or it's like 7. It's 11. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's the league is literally, how crazy is it, right? That Philip Clement could break his his Celtic hoodoo, right, and win every game in the league to the end of the season, and Rangers still might not win the league. To me, that is absolutely crazy. Now, to be honest, right, I think if Rangers won all 3 of the remaining Old Firms, right, we would win the league, because I don't think Celtic would win every other game. But there's a flip side to that, folks. We're not going to win every other game to the end of the season. Crazier things might have happened in football, but that would require a lot of wins for Rangers to do. But here, at best, what Rangers can do is force a helicopter Sunday last game of the season. But obviously, with the split, we're not 100% sure where it's going to go. But regardless of points, 11 or 3 or 7, what the gap is to Rangers need to win this game. Right, honestly, if he can't beat them at Ibrox with no away fans, and 50,000 bears behind the team, then it's like, where is the hope? You know what I mean? Like, what are we honestly doing? I just don't get it. But I feel like we're at the stage now where it's like, you know what? Let's just give Philip Clement to the end of the season, because that seems to be the only thing that we can do going forward. Honestly, we have seen that in the last couple of years, we've brought in managers, October, November time. It works all right, and then they fall away or whatever. It's like, if you just give Phil to the end of the season, and then if it's no up to scratch, which honestly, I think if he's not won the Scottish Cup, and if he's not closed the gap to Celtic significantly from 11 points, then I think he has to get sacked. I just think it's as simple as that. But knowing how far the standards have fallen, I honestly think trying in the Scottish Cup final and losing to Celtic and inevitably gifting them a treble and scraping past Aberdeen and finishing second might be deemed enough by this current board. And hell, a few of the Rangers fans, not all of us out there, a lot of us want to win things again. Some people just want to finish second. They like the taste of silver. They like the taste of silver medals. You know what I mean? I prefer the taste of gold. I have to be fair. You know what I mean? I prefer gold. Numero uno. Some people though are different. Anyway, Chris Sutton went on to say, he's been in a while now. He hasn't beaten Brendan Rodgers in 6 games. It was huge for him in the final. And if we are being balanced, we can say Rangers can take a fair bit out of the way they played. But still, he needed that trophy, and the pressure will be on. In recent times, I will be fair to him, the performance levels in the last 4 or 5 games have sort of been there. They pushed Celtic, but Celtic are fighting on all fronts as well, and are maybe going through a patch where their form has been patchy, and they're playing in moments, but getting over the line was a big deal. And I mean, a possible treble for Celtic, end of quote. Here, I think Celtic's form, I mean, it's not going to sit here and say it's absolutely nosedive, but I would probably agree with Sutton. It has become a bit patchy, drawing against Zagreb and Bruges when about what, like, I mean, 6 weeks ago, a month ago, I think most of us would have expected Celtic to easily pick up. Well, not easily, man. It's European competition at the end of the day. Champions League. But all we heard about was Zagreb's injury problems, missing 19 players. How many they were. Quickly got turned in how many Tottenham players were missing. But regardless, is what it is. But it's like is what it is. And then he went on to say, Rangers are now under pressure. You look at the league table. 11 points the gap. They play each other on January 2nd, which is huge. It's at Ibrox. Come on, can't keep losing to Brendan Rodgers. If he loses that one, I really think it will be the end of the road for him. And you know what? It's got to be, but I don't know, like, man. It's, the one that mattered was the cup final. You know what I mean? That was the one that mattered. See this one at Ibrox, you just know at the end of the season, or even after 2 minutes after, it's a meaningless game now. There's quite a few games in between now and then, right? Maybe the gap could be less than 11. Maybe it could be more than 11. But regardless, I don't think we're going to see any form of miraculous this season where Rangers are going to get the gap to like 3 points in the closing stage of the season. I think it's going to hover around what it is right now. I don't think, honestly, if the performance levels stay the same from Rangers, which I'm praying they do, don't think it's going to go much more than 11 to 15. And on the flip side of that, I don't really see us getting it much under 10. I think 9, 8 is probably I think between 8 and 15 points. I know that's a big range, but your big points tally behind, you can open up to a big range anyway. Mode, median, shite. Rangers, come on. Come on, guys. Step up.